Hi everybody. Today we're going to learn two things about kites. We're going to do two things today that take a little bit of work but aren't too bad. And then we'll get into easier problems with kites in our next lesson tomorrow. Kites have two sides that are the same. And so if you divide them up into an isosceles triangle, you can do the same math with isosceles triangles we were doing with rhombuses as well. Things can work out to be decimals, but we find out the missing angles in terms of this part here and this part here have to be, in this part, 59.5. And you have another isosceles triangle because this side of a kite is the same as this side of a kite. So you can do 180 minus 35, get your missing angle, divided by 2, and get 72.5. You have one angle that those two blue angles. You have one angle that's those two red angles. You can just add them together at that point. And I know it's not wonderfully fun to add two decimals together, but they'll be 0.5s if they're decimals, and they might not be decimals. And it comes out to be 132 exactly as your answer. Not too bad, not too hard. So all these kite problems with angles to start is going to be two different isosceles triangle math problems. Divide the kite up into two halves. Do one half with 180 minus the angle, then divide by 2. Do the other half with 180 minus the angle, divide by 2, and you get two answers. Add the two answers together, and that gives you the entire green angle here and the entire green angle here. So you have two congruent angles in a kite. This is the way to find them based on what we've been doing relatively recently. Lastly, that will be your IXL through a score of about 80. And then to get from an 80 to a 90, all you're going to do is do a few Pythagorean theorem problems. In a kite, you create 4 right triangles. Any of those triangles can use the Pythagorean theorem. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. For all the problems we'll be doing in IXL today, the small side will be a leg, and it'll be inside the kite. And it'll be one of them will be a variable, one of them will be a number. You'll have the actual outside side of a kite always be the hypotenuse, and it'll always be a number on the problems today. So you'll need a calculator to get these big numbers when you square them and multiply them by them yourself. But you've been doing Pythagorean theorem for years, including multiple times in this class. And then once you get to x squared equals a number, take the square root. Careful, not 50. The square root of 100 is 10. It's actually plus or minus 10 when you take the square root. But since you can't have a negative in a geometry picture, we just take our answer as positive 10. So you're going to do a bunch of isosceles triangle math problems like the top on IXL level N.11 to a score of 90 until about a score of 80, give or take. If you get about 10 right, you'll get near a score of 80 like the top, and then you'll have to do 4 or 5 right like the problem on the bottom to get to a score of 90 for 100%. This is all we're doing with kites today, and then next class later this week, we're going to be doing easier things with kites mixed in with these problems here. So we're going to learn some other things that are much easier, like the top, but intermix them and say, hey, can you do these easy problems along with the harder problems? And then like the bottom, can you do the easy problems like the harder problems? Take care, everyone, and have a wonderful day.